Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen right now. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2023, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your preview show looking ahead to the opening league game of the 23-24 season, a 560-mile round trip to Middlesbrough on the opening day. Of course, why wouldn't it be? As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett might pick to start the match. Okay, so a very indifferent and unique pre-season for us. Of course, off the field, tragic news, and on the field, not been fantastic. People saying it's only friendlies. We're soon going to find out we face a very tough test as we travel to face Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough at the Riverside. What do I go with here? Sometimes I go what team I think I will pick or what team I think Rat will pick. I'm going to try and second guess the gaffer here, because judging by what I've seen in pre-season and knowing the sort of manager, thinking I know the sort of manager that he is, this is the team I think he will go with. If he signs in time, Matija Sarkic in goal. Danny McNamara will make his 100th appearance for the club. If he starts, it will be Sean Hutchinson and Jake Cooper as a central defence pairing. Joe Bryan, left back, George Saville and Billy Mitchell in the centre of midfield. And then I think you'll have Andreas Volsammer wide right, Duncan Watmore wide left. And then I think you'll have the Bermondsey Bergkamp, Zian Fleming in a 10 behind new striker Kevin Nisbet. Of course, I'm filming this on a Wednesday. Sarkic hasn't yet signed, but it is looking inevitable. So if you're watching this on a Thursday because you're not a member, which I'll get into in a bit, then apologies. If not, I'll expect it to be George Long. Unfortunately, in that case, if that does happen, it's a waste of time even travelling. But there you go. It is what it is. The new season is upon us, and I am excited. Yeah, judging by what I've seen in pre-season, the three at the back, of course, didn't really work for us. We haven't really got the players to play out the back. And some of our players are not what they once were. Is it fair to say? So I think he'll go with a rigid back four. I'll be quite surprised if he plays five at the back. I think he'll go tried and tested. Mitchell, George Saville, of course, against his old club. And I think he'll go tried and tested once again. Andreas Volsammer on the right, doing defensive duties from that right wing position. And I think Duncan Watmore sort of picks himself at the minute. Great end to a season, looks promising in pre-season, and of course he is an ex-Middlesbrough player along with George Saville. Up front, I mean, personally I'd start Bradshaw because he was our top scorer last season, and don't try and fix what's not broken. But I think he'll bring in Nisbet. He is more of a rounded striker than Bradshaw. I've referred to this in pre-season. He can be a focal point. He can drag you up the pitch and be almost like an old school target man, although he's not big and not really that hench either, but he just does the job really well. Drags defenders all over the place, gets the ball at his feet in space and drives the defence. And as I mentioned in previous videos, that will drive your team up the pitch. So that's what I think he'll go with. And I really don't think it will be a million miles away from that. I could be wrong. If he goes three at the back, I think we'll be very exposed with the wing backs. McNamara's distribution going forward isn't fantastic. Joe Bryan's hasn't been either, by the way, during pre-season. And if they don't get a delivery in and get caught a little bit short, it's going to leave us very open at the back for Middlesbrough to attack, and ageing and looks a little bit like a despondent back three at the minute. So that's the team I'm going with. If we go with what I think he will, I expect us to be exactly what a Gary Rowett side is. Organised, compact, quite defensive, and try and nick something on the break. Let's move on to our opposition. As I've already mentioned, it's Middlesbrough. Managed by Michael Carrick, of course. He took over at the Riverside at one point last season when they was 21st in the division. He turned them round, spun it on his head, and he got them up to a fourth place finish. At one point, I just looked at the league table earlier, actually, the final league table. I'll put it on the screen now. They finished quite a way off Sheffield United, but there was a point they actually finished below Luton as well, as you can see, and as you probably already knew. But there was a point when it looked like they was going to catch Sheffield United. They was on fire under Carrick, and they just sort of fizzled out a little bit, maybe conceding too many goals. Of course, they did finish in the Championship playoffs. I was still expecting them to get it done at that point, but they lost over 2 legs against Coventry, not scoring at the Ricoh Arena, wherever it's called these days, and losing 1-0 at home, which saw Coventry make the final and lose out to Luton I don't know why I told you that entire story. You obviously know that if you follow the club. But look, they're still in the division. They're a club, a big club with a big fan base and a big city and a big stadium, and they're expecting to go back to the Premier League at some point. They've been out of it a while now. They only will, you know, a lot of clubs do this. Come down, I go down for an holiday for a year, and it takes a long time to get back up. Will they be the power they was last year? Well, maybe not to start the season. Cameron Archer was their main man last year, and he has gone back to Aston Villa, and he's going to try and crack it in the Premier League. They've also got injury worries. Johnny Howson, Josh Coburn and Chuba Akpom, their main man, their star striker, is unavailable due to injury. So if ever we've had a chance of nicking something as well, when he, you know, the opening sort of few weeks of the season and the closing few weeks of the season, you always get sort of freak results. I'm saying that as if, you know, we're miles off Middlesbrough. I wouldn't have said that before pre-season, but looking at what I've seen, and I do think performances do matter in pre-season. I could be proven to be wrong, then we could have been in trouble. But if Rowie goes with what I think he will, and with them missing a few key players, we could sneak out the back door at the Riverside, hopefully, with a point. And so, this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. Oh, what do I say here? Do I go with what I actually think will happen, or do I go with... Let's stay positive. I'm going to do a lead cheat. Let's stay positive, keep the faith, and I am going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm going to go for George Savile's little outside bet to get the goal for us as well. Us to be quite defensive. Us to see what our new goalkeeper's like if he turns up in time, getting plenty of practice. But I think, you know, with an expectant Borough crowd, lots of them, first day back of the season, they could feel the pressure from their fans and hopefully fall a little bit short. I am sort of giving the vibe here that I'm really expecting them to be a miles better team than us and to hammer us. That's not the case. Look, and as bad as our pre-season has been, in my opinion, we all know that we will just more than likely turn up and win 1-0, or, you know, we always get by, don't we? Just on endeavour alone. So I don't think we'll get spanked at any point this season. I think we'll be safe. I wouldn't be optimistic to say any more than that at the minute, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw at the Riverside. And so that's your lot for the opening preview of the 23-24 season. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's going to be a lot more to come this year on the channel. I always push it, and I say I couldn't push it anymore, but I'm going to really, really try to push it even further this year. This set is not yet finished. You might be able to see a Barry Kitchen photo there. I need to lower it down, widen the camera. I'm going to get my nice one of John Berylson up the other side as well. Memberships, that brings me on to memberships. If you were a member of our YouTube channel last season, I appreciate your support. However, I don't feel that I gave you enough as members. You can become a member for £2.99 a month. You get your previews a day early, advert free. So they will be out every Thursday at 7 with adverts. You'll get them every Wednesday at 7 if you're a member without adverts. Same for Lions Lounge Lockdowns. I have still got some lined up, but these big hitters, rich footballers, ex-footballers, they like to go on holiday during the summer, so it's tough to pin them down. If you like the Lions Lounge Lockdowns, you'll get them, if you're a member, a week earlier than they are released on YouTube and advert free, which comes right in handy if I'm chewing someone's ear off for an hour and a half. You'll sort of miss out 6 adverts. On top of that, the matchday live streams, they will always be public, or for subscribers at least. You can press a button, that don't cost you a penny. But if you like to comment in the chat on live stream days, like when we're at the Den, or if I'm not at an away game and I'm doing it from in here, then you will now have to pay £2.99 to join the chat. You can still watch the stream, not a problem. But if you want to get involved in the chat, then there will be a £2.99 fee per month. On top of that, I love my, obviously, Millwall shirts, and I collect a lot of them myself. One a month, one member every month will win, not every member, one member every month will win a football shirt that I have chosen or bought, whatever, off eBay, or chosen to give away. The first one is this. It is the Captain Morgan, Casey Keller. Now, I bought this from my own collection off eBay for £100. And the reason I'm getting rid of it is I want a different one for one, but for two, it's a small men's. Now, I don't wear them personally myself, but when you hang that up next to a load of larges or extra larges, it looks a little bit small in my collection. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It looks brand new. It's from the club shop, obviously, back in the 90s, and I paid a one-off for that on eBay. So if you want to be in with a chance of that, you can click on the link in this description of this video, or it's on our pinned post on Facebook, or it's on our Instagram bio. So if you want to become a member, you'll get all those perks for £2.99 a month. If not, then you just wasted 3.5 minutes of your life watching me talk about it. But there you go. Can't wait for the season to start. Loads more types of videos coming this year as well. I enjoyed the documentary I did a couple of years ago, The Docks of the Den, and I'm going to try and do more this year. More of those history VTs, but shorter, sharper ones potentially on individual players. All that's left for me to say is I will see you at the Riverside on Saturday if you're going 520-something mile round trip. Can't wait. Let's get going. Let's get behind the boys and let's try and get 3 points on the board. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.